Hello, friends. The wind ripples across the Nile as my canoe glides past the towering temples of Thebes. These massive structures stand as monuments to Egypt's past rulers, but among them, one name stands out. A name whispered with both awe and fear. He was a warrior, a conqueror, a master strategist. Some call him the Napoleon of Egypt. But long before he became a legend, he was just a boy overshadowed by his stepmother, Hatshepsut. Thutmose III was never meant to rule alone, at least not at first. When his father, Thutmose II, died, he was still a child. His stepmother, Hatshepsut, took the throne and ruled for over 20 years, keeping him in the background. But Thutmose was watching, learning, waiting. And when Hatshepsut died, he wasted no time in making Egypt his own. The moment he took full control, Thutmose III transformed Egypt into a true empire. Unlike Hatshepsut, who focused on trade and diplomacy, he waged war, and he was brilliant at it. Over the course of his reign, he led 17 military campaigns, conquering lands from Nubia to Syria and bringing Egypt to the height of its power. His armies marched north into Canaan, storming the fortress of Megiddo, in a battle so famous that even today, historians study his tactics. Instead of taking the easy road to Megiddo, Thutmose chose a risky, narrow mountain pass, catching his enemies by surprise. The victory was so overwhelming that his enemies locked themselves inside the city for months before finally surrendering. But Thutmose wasn't just a brilliant general, he was a master of psychological warfare. He didn't just defeat his enemies, he made them dependent on Egypt. Instead of destroying the cities he conquered, he left their rulers in place, as long as they remained loyal to him. He took their sons to Egypt, training them in Egyptian ways, ensuring that future generations would see Egypt not as an enemy, but as a leader. At home, he used the wealth from his conquests to fund massive building projects. He expanded Karnak Temple, adding towering obelisks and halls dedicated to Amun, the chief god of Egypt. He also introduced new festivals and religious rituals, strengthening both his power and the bond between the people and their gods. Despite his military reputation, Thutmose wasn't a ruler who only cared about war. He was a scholar, a patron of the arts, and an innovator. He encouraged advancements in botany, bringing back exotic plants from his campaigns to be studied and grown in Egypt. He ordered the recording of his battles in stunning detail, ensuring that his legacy would never be forgotten. By the time of his death, Thutmose III had transformed Egypt into a true superpower. He had expanded its borders further than ever before, bringing untold wealth and prestige. Future pharaohs would look to his reign as the golden standard of kingship. But what happens when a king doesn't seek war, but peace and splendor instead? The next great ruler of Egypt, Amenhotep III, would take a very different path. While Thutmose ruled with his sword, Amenhotep would rule with diplomacy, art, and sheer grandeur. Join me next time as we explore the reign of the magnificent Amenhotep III.